Steph here on the left.
How are you feeling after that pile up in the fourth quarter?
I'll be all right. Excuse me. It was I got caught underneath L. Obviously, be some pain, but I'll be all right. Figure out how it feels tomorrow and get ready for Friday. Huh? Same thing I did in Denver or against Boston in the regular season, but I'll be not as bad.
Anthony on the right.
So, foot sprain, essentially.
That's what it felt like, and then I'll see how it responds. So, not much other to say. I don't feel like I'll miss a game, though, so take advantage of these next 48 hours to get ready.
Marcus.
Marcus Thompson, The Athletic. Steph, you were getting kind of a lot of the shots you want third quarter. What changed in the fourth, and how were they able to slow you guys down?
We had some unforced turnovers the first couple possessions of the fourth, and that obviously led to them getting some easy buckets, extending the lead a little bit. We settled down a little, I think, a little bit after that, and got some good shots. They tried to send a little bit more attention to our pick and rolls. I think we could slow down just a little bit and try to find the right matchups. But that first 2 or 3 minutes kind of set the tone for the rest of the fourth. It gave them a little bit of a cushion. And we had a hard time, responding after that. So between first 3 minutes of the fourth and the first 12 minutes of the game, that was pretty much it.
Back left.
Steph, Tim Calican, The Athletic. Draymond did say in the pile that he heard you screaming. Was it just a lot of pain there, and how scary was that?
Yeah, he's a big body, obviously. I haven't seen the play, so I don't know if it could have been avoided or not, but I was in that situation with Marcus back in the Bay, and you just want to get your foot out of there. That was all I was trying to do at that point, knowing the position I was in. But like I said, it's not as, for what I feel like, it's not as bad. So hopefully it responds well over the next 2 days.
Question on the right.
Dan Feldman, NBC Sports. When Robert Williams is out there, how much does that affect what shots you can take, what passes you can make?
I mean, we've in our game plan we've talked about just being aware of where he is, because especially depending on who he's guarding, he can kind of come out of nowhere. There was a play early in the fourth. I got by Grant Williams. I thought I had a daylight to get a shot up, and underestimate how athletic he was and how much he could bother that shot. So there are situations where we can use that to our advantage, because he's going to be aggressive. He's going to keep trying to make plays on the ball. You got to be aware of where he is, because that's what he does for them on that end of the floor.
Is that something you have to feel out game by game with his health, how much he can do and what you can do against it?
No, it was after the first game. You kind of got to feel, and then it's just a matter of can you execute or not, and can you make the right decisions every single time. It's a bang-bang play, whether you're looking to get a shot off the rim or you got to swing it, because he's showing his length.
David in the middle.
David Aldridge, The Athletic. Steph, you've heard over the years fans getting on Draymond for various things. What did you think of the chants tonight and the frequency of the chants?
Par for the course. Every arena you kind of get a little something. It's been like that the whole playoffs, and every run we've made over the course of he expects it. So no different tonight.
Vince.
Steph, Vince Goodwill, Yahoo Sports. Was this one of those games when you start off early and you fall behind 10, 12 points? Did you feel like this was one of those games you had to hang around in, and maybe you could kind of steal it on the back end if you just stayed close enough? And, in relation to that fall, do you feel like maybe there's a little recklessness there in that situation, considering it's the second time that's happened to you against them this season?
I mean, the first question is, you want to get off to a better start because you got to know that like a really good team like Boston is, they're going to feed off of the change of venues and coming out with a lot of energy and aggression. And Jalen got off to a good start in the first quarter. Made some tough shots, some ones we didn't really press up into his body, and we paid the price for that over the course of the game because we clawed our way back, had a 1-point lead at one point in the third quarter, and you do all that work to get back into it, but we feel like we can play a lot better with that same third quarter intensity where you're not on your heels for big parts of the game and don't have to win the game twice in a sense. So we got to correct that if we want to get game 4. I don't really have any comments on the other play. I haven't really seen it yet. I just know how it felt.
Dan here in the middle.
Steph, Dan Devine from The Ringer. When Clay was up here, he mentioned the fact that you've sort of been here before in 2015, down 2-1. I'm wondering if you see any similarities in terms of this Boston team, that Cavs team, the situations, the physicality in the series, any parallels you can draw as you move forward trying to get back into the series?
Nothing specific, just that the situation is what it is. We're on the road. We must-win game 4. We had a must-win game after a tough one in game 1, and we got game 2. So the flow, we still feel like we obviously can win the series, and got to come out with the right intensity and focus in game 4. But to Clay's point, it does help knowing we've been through a little bit of everything over these last 8 years and can draw on that experience of showing up, when you need to stay in the series.
Last question to Kendra up front.
Do you remember the last time you had just one free throw in a game? And did tonight's Celtics defense on you feel the same level of physical and tightness as it had through the first 2 games, or different or more?
Felt the same. I mean, their personnel and the way that they defend, they are very physical. They have a way of, obviously with Marcus on the ball, he's pretty aggressive. Robert and behind the play, and they got usually a lot of length and size on the wings. I don't know why it was only one free throw. I felt like there were a couple possessions that could have, or plays that could have gone my way. It is hard to understand the flow of the game based on some of the calls that went my way, where I have 4, and you're having to defend a certain way because you want to stay on the floor and not allow that to impact the game. But you still got to find a way to be effective no matter how the game is being called, and it's a good lesson to learn for next game.
Thanks, Steph.